It's not always about your willpower when it comes to resisting those tempting foods. You might be surprised to learn that certain foods can actually interfere with your brain chemistry and hormones, leading to a feeling of addiction. In this video, we're going to discuss the 5 most detrimental foods that contribute to food addiction. We're going to dig deep into the science of how these foods alter the brain and stimulate an excess production of dopamine, a hormone that makes us feel great but can also lead us down the path of addiction. We'll also explore how these foods can cause sudden spikes and crashes in blood sugar levels, prompting insulin production and causing chaos within our bodies. Stick with us to the end as we uncover a food that has similar addictive properties to opium and is found in most pantries. Let's delve into the topic of sugar-sweetened beverages. We're not just talking about fizzy drinks, but also supposedly healthy fruit juices. The high sugar content in these drinks makes them addictive. Here's the science behind it. Consuming sugar initiates a dopamine response in the brain. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter associated with feelings of pleasure and reward. Thus, when one indulges in a sugary drink, the brain receives a dopamine boost, resulting in temporary pleasure. However, this fleeting sensation of pleasure can become addictive over time. The brain begins to crave the dopamine rush derived from sugar consumption and starts associating sweetness with pleasure and reward. The association leads to an increased desire for more sugary foods and beverages. In a groundbreaking study conducted by researchers at Princeton University, they found that rats who had intermittent access to sugar displayed behaviors and neurochemical changes similar to those seen in addiction to drugs. This is especially intriguing because it suggests that sugar, a common part of our diet, can have addictive properties for some individuals when consumed excessively. But there's another aspect to consider. Excessive sugar consumption can result in leptin resistance. Leptin is a hormone that signals the brain when satiety is reached. However, if one consumes too much sugar, the body becomes less responsive to leptin signals. This insensitivity means that even after consuming large quantities of food or drink, one doesn't feel satisfied, leading to overeating and weight gain. So, how does one tackle this issue? Quitting sugar abruptly can be challenging due to withdrawal symptoms such as headaches and mood swings. A more effective approach would be gradually reducing intake over several weeks. Opting for whole foods whenever possible is advisable. Whole fruits contain natural sugars along with fiber, which slows down the absorption of sugar into your bloodstream, preventing spikes in blood glucose levels. If you crave fizzy drinks, try sparkling water with a dash of lemon. Next up, we're going to learn how food companies engineer products to keep you wanting more. Take, for example, the next food, potato chips. Ever opened a family-sized bag and before you know it, you've eaten every last crumb? The addictive quality of potato chips stems from the balance between fats and carbohydrates. Foods abundant in both these nutrients, such as potato chips and French fries, activate our brain's reward system more efficiently than foods containing either nutrient individually. Prior to industrialization, it was uncommon to encounter foods rich in both fat and carbohydrates. Hence, when consumed now, our brains react with a potent reward signal that encourages us to eat more. Believe it or not, but there's another dimension to this narrative. Potato chips and fries fall under the category of hyper-palatable foods. These foods are deliberately crafted to elicit a pleasurable response that can result in a sense of losing control over eating habits. Neuroscientists propose that hyperpalatable foods could be partially accountable for escalating obesity rates because they exceed the normal reward properties of traditional foods by incorporating higher levels of fat, sugar, flavors, and additives. David A. Kessler, ex-chief of the FDA, explains how these ingredients stimulate the brain's reward system when combined in specific ways. This incites a desire to continue eating even when satiated. The notion of conditioned hypereating implies that delectable sugary and fatty foods trigger endorphins in the brain, leading to cravings and overconsumption. Certain studies propose that hyperpalatable foods can initiate addiction-like processes, which may contribute towards the obesity epidemic. Evidence substantiates this theory as food cues activate similar neurocircuitry as drug addiction. You might be surprised to learn that food corporations employ food chemists who concoct food-like products designed explicitly to stimulate certain areas of your brain, making it challenging to cease eating these products. Therefore, the next time a salty craving strikes, forgo the bag of chips. Instead, choose a whole food alternative. Consider slicing up a potato, drizzling it with olive oil and seasoning it with salt before baking in the oven. It's a healthier option that won't manipulate your brain's reward system or undermine your weight loss endeavors. Another food that can cause cravings and lead to hormonal imbalance in the brain is alcohol. It's widely known that it can be addictive. However, it's less commonly known that alcohol can also disrupt your body's fat-burning processes. This primarily happens due to its impact on the liver's glucose production, leading to a condition called hypoglycemia. Hypoglycemia can amplify feelings of hunger, which may result in overeating and consequently weight gain. The story gets more complex when hormones enter the scene. The main characters here are glucagon and insulin. Glucagon functions by breaking down stored glycogen in the liver into glucose when blood sugar levels drop. Insulin, conversely, controls blood sugar levels by aiding glucose absorption into cells for energy or fat storage. Excessive alcohol consumption can upset this delicate balance between glucagon and insulin. The liver begins to prioritize metabolizing alcohol over producing glucose, potentially leading to hypoglycemia. This triggers an increase in hunger and cravings for high carbohydrate foods, resulting in weight gain. However, there's more to it. Alcohol triggers dopamine release in the brain's reward center, generating feelings of pleasure and satisfaction. Over time, repeated exposure can lead to dependence as the brain links alcohol consumption with these positive feelings. This creates a harmful cycle where individuals consume more alcohol to sustain these feelings, further intensifying its effects on weight gain. A fascinating study conducted by researchers delved into the relationship between alcohol consumption, insulin action, and its potential impact on weight loss. They found that chronic alcohol consumption resulted in whole-body insulin resistance in animal models. Alcohol was found to impact insulin action differently across various organs. For example, in skeletal muscles, alcohol reduced insulin-stimulated glucose uptake, which could affect weight loss by hampering the body's ability to burn calories effectively. These findings underscore the importance of understanding how alcohol affects our bodies at a hormonal level and its implications for weight loss. While moderate alcohol consumption may have certain benefits, excessive or chronic use could contribute to insulin resistance and potentially hinder efforts to lose weight. A further food that can lead to addiction is a beloved dessert, ice cream. When we eat this, the body reacts by releasing insulin to aid in sugar processing. However, excessive sugar consumption over time can result in insulin resistance, a significant contributor to weight gain. Furthermore, the elevated sugar levels in ice cream also stimulate a dopamine release in the brain. As we discussed earlier, this is a feel-good neurotransmitter, which provides a sense of pleasure and satisfaction. This is part of the body's reward system that promotes repeating behaviors associated with feeling good, such as eating ice cream. Furthermore, ice cream is also a hyperpalatable food and often has additives and flavorings which further light up the brain. Hence, we start craving more and more. In order to curb these cravings, seek healthier alternatives. For instance, Greek yogurt with fresh fruit or homemade smoothies with frozen fruit can replace ice cream. Finally, a food that is a staple for most homes, bread. Whether the healthier wholemeal variety or plain white, this highly processed carbohydrate can become addictive due to its impact on blood sugar levels and the unique compounds found in wheat. Upon consumption, white bread and brown swiftly disintegrates into glucose, causing an immediate surge in blood sugar levels. The pancreas reacts by releasing insulin to regulate this sudden influx of glucose. The primary function of insulin is to aid cells in absorbing glucose for energy. However, when there's an excess of glucose, insulin encourages fat storage, potentially leading to weight gain and obesity. This rapid fluctuation in blood sugar also elevates ghrelin levels, a hormone that signals hunger to our brain. But there's more. The addictive quality of bread is partially attributed to unique compounds present in wheat, such as gliadin-derived opiate peptides. These peptides latch onto opiate receptors in the brain, stimulating appetite and inducing a mild euphoria that can trigger cravings and overeating. Frequent consumption of white bread can also contribute to other issues like type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and even certain types of cancer. Symptoms may include persistent hunger despite regular eating, unexplained weight gain or difficulty losing weight, frequent mood swings, or feelings of fatigue after eating. To counteract this addiction, it's recommended to gradually decrease your intake of bread rather than stopping abruptly. Each day, replace one meal or snack with a healthier alternative until you've completely eliminated white bread from your diet. Instead of bread, aim to eat whole foods that will help balance your hunger levels and provide nutrients that will aid to balance hormones and allow your body to function optimally. This about wraps it up. If you're struggling to reach your ideal body weight, it might be your hormones. So make sure you click the link below this video to take our hormonal balance quiz and get a personalized hormonal report tailored to your hormone type. Also, if you found this video helpful, please subscribe and leave a comment below.